to say it is always a seller's market. And so today we're going to be talking about why I got started in real estate investing, because this question comes up a lot when I tell people that I'm a real estate investor. And I always get, oh, that's so interesting. How did you become a real estate investor? And as a lot of you know, I actually started out as a physical therapist. I graduated from the University of Central Florida with my master's degree in physical therapy. It took me a whole 6.5 years to get that degree, and I was so proud of it. And I went out into the workforce all excited, thinking, this is it. I'm, gonna make all this money, and I'm gonna have a career out of this. And after a couple of years, man, I got so burnt out having a job that I had to go to from 9 to 5. It was physically exhausting. It was mentally exhausting. I worked from 9 to 5 with a commute on either end, which didn't give me a lot of time to do anything else. I looked forward to my weekends. And there was just a lot of stress involved. And so after, I would say, 4 years of it, I was pretty burnt out of the medical field, and I wanted something else. And so when I met my husband, we started talking about having a family. But what we also started talking about is all of the things that I wanted in my life at that time. I wanted to travel more. I wanted to live in a bigger house. I eventually wanted to homeschool our children when they got older and bring them to all the cool places that we were traveling to. I had these like big dreams, yet I was in this 9 to 5 job working as a physical therapist, which gives you a great, great income, a great lifestyle. But the job itself, salary wise, was never going to give me what I needed. Plus, I was looking for flexibility. I was looking for more time in my life to spend with my family, to spend traveling. And the time that I was investing in my job was not going to give me that. So when when my husband and I started our family, I decided to get educated in real estate. And you guys, I had no idea what I was doing when I first started out. I didn't even know what a mortgage was. I had never bought a house before. The only thing I owned was a beat up, oh God, what kind of car was that? I can't even remember what kind of car it was. It was a red beat up car that I bought for, $1,000 that I was so proud of. That was literally the only thing I owned. I rented. I was just starting out, so I didn't have a lot of nice things. I was just, basically working and traveling. And so when I started, I decided to start getting educated by reading. And the very first book I read was Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which I highly recommend for anyone getting started in real estate investing. If you have not read this book, please go and get it and read it. Is it a classic? And anyone who wants to get into this business, it's just so inspiring, that book. So I read that book, and it kind of led me into this whole new realm of possibilities of what my life could be with real estate investing. And so that led me to different events that I attended, and it led me to join my local RIO, which I suggest everyone does, because that's where you can network with people in your area and you can build your power team. And through that, I started to get educated on all of the things that I teach now with real estate. But it took me a whole year, you guys, to do my first deal. I'm talking like, I would sit down late at night and I would watch all the videos and I would go through all the content, and I was calling sellers and I was doing all the marketing, and it didn't happen quickly for me. And it was because I had to get through a lot of limiting beliefs and a lot of psychological barriers that I had. But anyways, the very first deal that we did after a year of educating myself in marketing, we landed this amazing deal in Georgia. We were living there at the time. And so I decided to start marketing in my own backyard. And when we got this deal, oh my God, you guys, when they accepted my offer, I couldn't sleep that night. I was like, it's finally happened. I'm like, this is it. My life is going to change. And so we bought this house, and this house was a major renovation. I mean, the whole house had to be gutted. It was with the garage and with the basement. It had to have been like 3,000 square feet. So it was a big house. It was a frame home. It just had a lot of work to do. And I had never renovated a house before. So I'm like, I'm just going to dive in and tackle this thing. But what we did, you guys, was really amazing, because as a physical therapist, I was making a really good salary. I was able to replace my salary as a physical therapist with that first deal that we did, and then the second deal that we did just after. And really, it only took me 6 months to complete both of those projects. And I was working 10 hours a week, from home or bringing my son with me, who was, you know, a baby at the time. He was a year old. He was coming with me to these two houses. I had so much flexibility with my time. It was ridiculous. So I could be at home with my baby, going to these two projects, doing stuff from home, you know, spending 10 hours a week versus 40 hours plus, you know, an hour commute every day. I was able to replace my income as a physical therapist in that short period of time. And that's when like the light bulbs went off and I was like, oh my gosh, if I can do this in 6 months time with 10 hours, you know, a week versus working a full year with 40 hours a week where I have to be at an office, I'm like, this is amazing. And so I didn't want to stop there. And that's really what led me to become a full-time real estate investor, was because I saw the potential and what it could do for my life and the lifestyle that it could provide for my family and I. So I just wanted to share with you guys the house that we did that got it all started for us, just as a little bit of inspiration for you, to know that anyone can do this business. You guys, you don't need to be educated in real estate to start off. You don't even have to have money to start off. We didn't. It can be done. So I wanted to show you some just quick pictures of what we did with this house. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I thought it would be kind of fun to show you the very first house that I renovated. Okay, so this was the master bathroom, and show you what we converted it to. Now, this was the house after. This house was beautiful. It was a disaster when we first bought it. We ended up putting so much money into this house. We gutted it almost down to the studs in every room, but it had this beautiful long driveway with this fence that the previous owner had custom built. This was a stone wall that separated the property from the creek. And then it had this 3-tiered custom deck that you could sit on and overlook the stream, which was on the other side of this stone wall. So you can see the stream that was running by this backyard. I mean, it was gorgeous. And it was like a bubbling stream. I mean, it was flowing. And you can see this custom work. But I'm going to go ahead and show you, let's see, let me go back to my before pictures and see if I can find the one I am looking for. Okay, so this was the front room when you first walk in. Carpeted, outdated. It had these built-in shelves over here. So this is what we were able to transform it into, was this room where we put down nice hardwood floors. We painted everything fresh. We took out the wall unit and really opened it up. It was beautiful when you first walk in. So that was the first bedroom. This was, again, the master. So let me go back and I'll show you the master on here. I've done this an easier way, Carrie. Okay, here was the kitchen. I'll show you the kitchen picture. So this was the after picture. This was this house. As you can see, all these pictures. I mean, it was so outdated. So this was the kitchen. Very outdated, very closed in. We took down some walls, we opened it up, and this was what we transformed that kitchen into. Total transformation. So that was the kitchen. These were, I think this was the bathroom upstairs. Look at that wallpaper. This house had so much wallpaper. I can't even tell you what the painting estimate was, but to take all this old wallpaper off was not easy. So it put our the price tag up on the pricing a little bit. Let me go see if I can find the master. So more pictures of the kitchen. Oh, this was the master right here. Nope, that was the downstairs bathroom. This was the master. So as you can see, the total transformation, way different. So anyways, let me stop sharing here. It doesn't matter how long it takes you guys to get started. It doesn't matter what kind of education you have or what kind of background you have. If you have credit, if you have money or no money, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is to just get started, because you heard it from my story. I was able to replace my salary as a physical therapist in a very short period of time, and I enjoyed it. I was able to bring my son everywhere with me when I first started out. And that just gave me this whole new perspective on what I could do in my life and what I could have in my life. So that's it for today, guys. If you or anyone you know has a house that they need to sell, please give us a call. You can find us at carriebuysHouses.com. All my contact information is there, and I'll see you on the next video.